Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Something to Think About. And today I'm going to be talking about the mainstream media's hesitation in covering the Republican National Convention. Now, prior to the Democratic National Convention, Democratic officials met with the major networks and they went over why and how they only wanted 2 hours of nightly coverage for the 4 days that the convention was to run. And the reason being is they knew that these networks are legally obligated to provide the same amount of coverage for the Republicans. And the Democrats just couldn't risk having the Republicans and Trump talk about his accomplishments for his first 3 years in office. I mean, we had a record number unemployment rate. We had a robust economy. The stock market was doing great. Trump passed a crime bill that has been successful, and that was something that the Obama administration never did in its 8 years. And they also didn't like the fact that Trump and the Republicans can talk about how the Democrats threw a bogus Russian collusion hoax against him, and he won, and he exposed them for being the corrupt liars that they are. I was reading an article in Raw Story by Sarah K. Burris, and in the article she states her objection to the Republicans bringing on guests such as, and I'm quoting here, the St. Louis couple that incorrectly handled their guns while waving and threatening protesters walking by their St. Louis mansion, and that smirking MAGA kid photographed standing inches from the face of a Native American protester in a drum circle. I guess she views this as a shameful and exploitive use of these individuals. But it's amazing that she doesn't think anything of the Dems parading out members of ex-con and drug user George Floyd's family. And this is the same guy who beat and robbed a pregnant woman at gunpoint. Or the fact that they brought out a Kristen Urquiza who blames Trump for the death of her father due to COVID. But again, double standards is what the Democrats are known for. Now, to be truthful, I don't expect the RNC to have much better ratings than the DNC. But what I do expect is that the mainstream media is going to cover it in a very different way. I could literally see them cutting away to their panel of leftist propagandists during speeches and other RNC activities to diminish Trump's message from being delivered. Even though the mainstream media is obligated to cover the Republican National Convention for the same amount of time, it doesn't mean that they have to, or how they cover the broadcast is going to be the same. They have some discretion. And I literally could see 2 hours of panel discussions while in the background we see RNC speakers and their mics are muted or the volume is barely above a whisper, and these panelists are giving their interpretation of what is being said and not allowing the speakers actual words to be heard. Now, viewership in mainstream media has been declining, and so the last thing they want to see is a spike in ratings during the broadcast of the RNC. That might be an indication that Trump is going to win in November, and I think that's something they just cannot handle at this point. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the coming days when the Republican National Convention is broadcast. I'm going to watch closely as to how the media handles this whole thing. Anyway, thanks again for listening, and don't forget to echo and follow me. I will follow you back. If you care to support me, I have a link in the comment section for the book you can purchase, Limited Duty. And remember to always support our first responders, our troops, and also remember in November to vote red. Thank you.